Hello, everyone. I hope to read this pretty quick, but I hope you understand it. This is about the 2017 confession, Unraveling the Wuhan Institute of Virology's lab accreditation, the role of international oversight bodies in China rising power. The story of the Wuhan Institute of Virology, WIV, and its rise into the global scientific community is tied to a complex web of international oversight, accreditation, and political influence. The most critical moment came in 2017 when the WIV's Biosafety Level 4 laboratory was certified by the China National Accreditation Services out of Beijing, China, under the leadership of Zhao Jinwu, who at the time was also the chairman of the International Accreditation Forum, incorporated in Delaware, founded by the American National Standards Institute and the American National Accrediting Board, which I will be getting into. And they are those IAF and its sister organization, ILAC, the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation, have both national and international accreditation bodies that are equivalent to ANSI ANAP. Like China National Accreditation Services, they are equivalent, and we have the document to prove that one. They all are, okay? So we go on. This event raised major concerns due to the involvement of major international accreditation bodies like ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, and the American National Accreditation Board, and the International Accreditation Forum, and the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation. ANSI and ANAP are underwriters for the IF and ILAC, and they bear full legal responsibility for laboratory safety failures, such as potential escapes of dangerous pathogens. Let's break this down year by year, shall we? From 1993 to 2021. So it's easy to understand. 1993 was the formulation of the International Accreditation Forum. In 1993, the IAF was created to have both international and national accreditation bodies on its board as an association, which are equivalent to ANSI ANAP accreditation. For the certification of products and management system, it included national and international accreditation bodies, as I said. These organizations acted as underwriters for the IF, ANSI and ANAP, not only IAF, but also the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation in Australia, meaning this: they took all legal responsibility for ensuring laboratories and certification bodies follow the correct safety standards. In 2004, you had a Sino-French cooperation agreement on emerging infectious diseases. In 2004, China signed an agreement with France to improve its ability to handle emerging infectious diseases. This led to the construction of the Wuhan National Biosafety Laboratory, a high-level facility designed to study dangerous viruses. In 2015, completion of the Wuhan BioLevel 4 laboratory and staff training. By 2015, Wuhan lab was completed. China trained its staff with the help of experts from the U.S. and France. However, concerns about the qualifications of the staff would come up later as the lab began to work with some of the world's deadliest pathogens. In 2017, certification of the BioLevel 4 laboratory by the China National Accreditation Services. In 2017, the Wuhan BSL-4 laboratory was certified by the China National Accreditation Services under Zhao Jinwu, who again was also the chairman of the IAF, incorporated in Delaware, between 2015 and 21. This was a major event, as it meant the lab was recognized as meeting the highest biosafety standards, but questions about the lab's safety procedures and staff qualifications arose soon after. Despite these concerns, the lab was officially certified without adequate checks to ensure the staff were fully prepared for dangerous work, because highly trained technicians are the first line of defense to alleviate any sort of escape. August 2017, approval for research on dangerous pathogens. The China National Health Commission approved the Wuhan lab to conduct research on viruses like Ebola, which are among the deadliest diseases known. The decision was made after the certification, but the lab had not fully met international standards in terms of safety protocols and staff readiness. September 2017, Pamela Sale. The Vice President, Pamela Sale's warning on forensic laboratories. Doesn't matter, forensic, BioLevel 4, it's all the same. Doesn't matter, okay? Pamela Sale's warning on forensic lab standards. In September 2017, Pamela Sale, down in Texas, under deposition, vice president of laboratory accreditation for ANSI-ANAP, highlighted a major issue with lab certifications. She said one of the issues is that there is no commonly agreed upon set of standards that forensic labs around the country have to follow. Instead, there are informal guidelines that labs can choose to follow or not. This statement underscored the lack of consistent global framework of laboratory certification, which left room for dangerous gaps in safety. May 2017, a China-U.S. workshop on emerging infectious diseases. In May 2017, a workshop was held in Wuhan, China, with scientists from the U.S. and China to discuss emerging diseases and laboratory safety. Despite discussions about biosafety and security, experts continue to express concerns about the readiness of the Wuhan lab to handle such dangerous pathogens. And in that workshop, the very first line of study there, the chat, was gain-of-function research. Late 2017, diplomatic warnings and reports from the U.S. Embassy. By the end of 2017, U.S. diplomats in Beijing became increasingly concerned about the safety of the Wuhan lab. They sent multiple reports back to Washington urging stronger oversight of the lab. 3 teams of U.S. experts visited Wuhan in late 2017 and early 2018 to check on the lab's operations and safety protocols. The warnings highlighted that the lab's failure to meet the international biosafety standards expected for such high-risk research. During 2015 to 21, Zhao Jinwu's leadership and China's influence from that time, Zhao Jinwu continued to lead the China National Accreditation Services and the IAF. Gaining more influence in international laboratory certification, he was also heavily involved in China's strategies to gain access to global data through the lab certifications, which were governed by the international accreditation bodies, including ANSI-ANAP. Despite growing concerns about the lab safety, these organizations continue to back China's certification efforts, raising questions about their accountability. The China National Accreditation Services and ANSI-ANAP are equivalent in accreditation. On top of it, Zhao Jinwu, is mandated by his country of origin to take our data through the China National Intelligence Law, Article Number 7. The role of ANSI-ANAP, IF, and ILAC as underwriters. ANSI and ANAP are underwriters for IF and ILAC, and they bear legal responsibility for laboratory escapes or failures. This means they are legally accountable for ensuring that certified labs, like the Wuhan Biolevel 4 lab, meet all international safety standards. If a laboratory under their accreditation has failed, such as pathogen escape or product failure, these organizations could be held responsible. Do you hear that? Joe Biden, President Biden, signed a proclamation that both Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson are safe till 2029. You can't sue them. So ANSI and ANAP are the key figures there. Conclusion. The failure of oversight and accountability from 1993 to 2021, the rise of international accreditation bodies like ANSI, ANAP, IF, ILAC, parallel China's growing influence on the world stage. However, the certification of the Wuhan lab in 2017, despite its many safety flaws, highlights the failures in global oversight systems. The involvement of ANSI-ANAP as underwriters for the IF and ILAC means that these organizations bear legal responsibility for lab escapes and failures. The situation at Wuhan lab underscores the urgent need for stronger and more accountable international oversight of high-risk laboratories to prevent future failures that could endanger the global public and cause another pandemic. My name is Daryl Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, 203-556-1493. I thank you.